Welcome to my channel, Remember Me. Thank you so much for watching. Being the last month of the year, I decided to look at some stories of some solved cases and some cases which may need further work in solving. Even if the case is solved, it's still so important to spread awareness and to remember these people's stories. If you would like to recommend a case, solved or unsolved, please contact me on my details below. Hy'Shawn Curry. I first found Hy'Shawn Curry's story last year when I was making a video about lesser known disappearances of African American peoples. In recent times, Curry's remains have been located. If you would like to look at the original video, the link is on the screen or below. This is Hy'Shawn Curry's story. Disappearance. 28-year-old Hy'Shawn Curry was last seen on January 31st, 2016 in Wilcox, Alabama, driving a silver BMW. Very little is known about Hy'Shawn's disappearance. The vehicle was found abandoned somewhere in Yellow Bluff about a week after Curry went missing. Authorities say the car contained remnants of blood and it was suspected that he was murdered. In January 2020, 26-year-old Tamaine Nickerson was charged with capital murder in Curry's disappearance. The warrant against Nickerson said the victim was shot to death during the theft of his vehicle and that Nickerson had been seen driving Curry's vehicle around with blood inside the BMW after Curry's death. Remains found. First Judicial District Chief Investigator Ron Baguette and a team from the Texas Equine Search Team found a deceased body off Big Truck Road near Dixon Mills. Baguette cautioned that it could take up to 3 months to determine if this was Curry. It is also important to note that Curry's father is a prominent minister from the area. Baguette later said that certain evidence from the case led them to the area in which Curry's remains were located. The remains were later identified to be that of Hy'Shawn Curry. Pecos Jane Doe. In 1966, a young woman drowned in Roper's Motel pool in Pecos, Texas, and for more than 50 years her true identity was unknown. The young woman, known until recently as Pecos Jane Doe, checked into the Roper's Motel with an unknown male companion using the names Mr. and Mrs. Russell Batten. Hours later, a hotel employee found the woman's body in the hotel pool. It is believed that she was alone in the pool. She was rushed to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Foul play is a possibility. Her male companion checked out of the hotel, claiming that he was going to the hospital. He took their registration card, which contained additional identifying information about the pair. It is believed he acted out of fear. He left driving a 1963 sedan. The male is described as being around 25 years old with blonde hair and a slight build. Stories of what happened vary, with witnesses saying they heard screams preceding her death. Some cases say that the man she was with was in the pool with her, whereas others say that he was asleep at the time and left once he had realized what had happened. More than 50 years later, Pecos Police Department Chief Lisa Tarango continued the search for Pecos Jane Doe's true identity. The victim is buried with a gravestone marked "Unknown Girl Drowned July 5, 1966. And agency officials have continued to visit her grave and bring flowers. Identification. In 2019, police contacted a funeral home who luckily had Pecos Jane Doe's birth certificate and newspaper clippings. Her grave was located and the possibility of an exhumation was considered and then granted. Othram reached out to the Pecos Police Department in early 2020 to help identify the woman using advanced DNA testing. The laboratory work was funded mostly by Pecos Police Department with a supplementary crowd fund established through DNA Solves. Skeletal remains were brought to Othram in August 2020 and work on the case began, first to develop a DNA extract from the bone and then to construct a DNA profile using forensic-grade genome sequencing. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children provided support and resources to facilitate an identification. First, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children had produced an artistic sketch of what Llewellyn might have looked like. Later, after successful DNA testing, they coordinated the genealogical research, securing the services of Innovative Forensic, who generously donated the time and resources to work family trees and produce a candidate lead. When a potential sibling was found living in Florida, law enforcement there went to the home and got a DNA sample, a mouth swab. Another company, Gene by Gene, compared the sample to Othram's DNA profile. It was a perfect match. Pecos Police Department confirmed the lead through DNA testing of a close relative, confirming the identity of Pecos Jane Doe as Jolaine Hemmy. Jolaine Hemmy. Jolaine was 17 years old in 1966 and was one of 15 children. She was working at a drive-in diner in Kansas City. She abruptly vanished one day and didn't pick up her last paycheck. Her family reported her missing and worked hard to find out where she had gone, and despite tremendous efforts by family and law enforcement, they were unable to find her. At least one family member remembers a man that took particular interest in Jolaine around the time of her disappearance, but little is known about him. Jolaine was described as being shy, and unfortunately she could not swim. Pecos Police Department are continuing to investigate her death. Hemmy's remains have been moved to Kansas to be buried with her parents. If anyone has any information about Jolaine Hemmy, her disappearance, or the man that she was last seen with, please contact the Pecos Police Department at 432-445-4911. The mostly harmless hitchhiker. The hiker started his journey on the Appalachian Trail in April 2017 from Harriman State Park near New York City. On the way, he met several people who took pictures of him. Witnesses reported that he preferred ketchup and sticky buns, and that he had said he came from Baton Rouge and was hiking to Key West and had a sister living in Sarasota or Saratoga. By January 2018, the hiker had reached northern Florida. Discovery. He was last observed alive after his arrival in the southwestern region of Florida in April 2018. On July 23, 2018, the hiker was found dead in his tent by two hikers in Big Cypress National Preserve. He had no form of identification with him. The autopsy could not determine the specific cause of death. There were no signs of foul play. His DNA, dental information, and fingerprints did not match known missing persons reports in any database. He wore a gray Colombian baseball hat and appeared to be between 35 and 50 years of age, with slightly graying brown hair and a beard. His backpack contained $3,500 in cash, no phone or identification or credit cards, and a notebook was found filled with handwritten notes about SEEPs, an online programming game. When asked by another hitchhiker as to why he didn't have a phone, he replied saying, sometimes people just want to disconnect. Originally, a composite sketch of what the man looked like was released, but shortly after, other hikers who had met him came forward with photos they had taken with him. They said he went by names such as Ben Billamy, Denim, and Mostly Harmless. Using information from witness interviews, investigators developed a timeline of his activities. The Collier County Sheriff's Office also sought aid of Othram Inc., a Texas-based company utilizing genetic genealogy to assist agencies with resolving cases. Identification. After viewing photographs of the then-identified man, a previous co-worker contacted authorities who obtained DNA samples from living relatives in Lafayette Parish, Louisiana. An official announcement from the Collier County Sheriff's Office was released on January 12, 2021. Othram had confirmed the match between Mostly Harmless and his family by performing the required testing. Mostly Harmless was identified as Vance Rodriguez. He was last known to reside in New York and worked in the field of information technology. Who was Vance Rodriguez? He indeed grew up in Louisiana and he moved to New York in his 30s. He was a brilliant computer programmer whose notebooks found in the tent where he died were filed with computer code. Rodriguez had been arrested for shoplifting in Lafayette Parish back in August 1994. It is not immediately clear if he had been fingerprinted after the arrest, and if so, why he was unable to be matched with those fingerprints during the 2 years that he remained unidentified. In January 2018, the owner of the Brooklyn building where Rodriguez rented a small one-bedroom apartment finally got a warrant to enter the home after his rent had gone unpaid for more than a year and a half. Inside, he found computers, monitors, and video game things everywhere. The home was stocked with food, the bedroom with clothes, and he found Rodriguez's wallet, credit card, passport, New York State ID, and Louisiana driver's license. The owner had no idea what happened to him, and it was as if he had just disappeared. Rodriguez was not reported missing. Before Rodriguez left everything to go hiking, he played the online game Screeps, where computer programmers control their colony by writing JavaScript. He used the game name Vaja and was active in message boards on the game's Slack channel. Notebooks of code found in mostly Harmless tent were traced to this game. In one message on the Screeps Slack channel, he joked no one would notice if he lost his voice. In one Screeps comment from the end of January 2017, Rodriguez told another user, "I'm mostly harmless, for now," possibly foreshadowing his hiking moniker. It is believed that Rodriguez saw the trail as another game, heading from shelter to hostel on daily missions. His trail name was also similar to online users, where no one needed to know your true identity. By April, Rodriguez stopped appearing on Screeps and the game's Slack channel. His friends whom he played with believed he died with intent. Furthermore, he had a scar on his abdomen from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, his friends said. Rodriguez was very open about his suicide attempt, and he always donated blood, remembering the time he once needed it desperately in his recovery. Vance Rodriguez is described as being kind, quiet, and intelligent. He was said that he struggled with personal relationships, especially with his family. A fellow hitchhiker who met Vance Rodriguez created a Facebook group to spread awareness and to identify him. One of the hitchhikers he passed stated, "He just had a really kind aura about him. He was joking and laughing with me, had a beautiful smile, and he had beautiful eyes, different from any other hiker." Thank you for watching this video and remembering these people. May Hy'ShawnCurry, Jolaine Hemmy, and Vance Rodriguez rest in peace. Thank you so much for watching this video and for taking the time to remember this case. It would really mean a lot if you could share this video to spread these people's stories in the hope that new information will surface. To recommend a case, please contact me on Instagram or send me an email. Thank you.